Yeah, right. Teddy, very good to talk to you. I am planning this festival, this Bridges of Meaning Festival in Germany, from the 26th to the 28th of August. And yeah, you were from the very beginning, you were very interested in it and very enthusiastic about it, and I like that a lot. And Paul Vanderklay will be coming, Bernd Powell will be coming, John Van Dunk, different speakers. We will have music from 2 more Vs, and there will be small group discussions. There will be networking opportunities, and it's really this idea to get the Bridges of Meaning community together in one place and have the online experience, really in real life. And there will be bonfire in the evenings. There will be community dinners, and the venue where we will be in Landau in Germany, they have enough space, a big yard, they have a stage, and I think it will really be something. And really the goal is really to get the Bridges of Meaning more into real life. And I think it will be like heaven for Bridges of Meaning people, really, because you can walk around and talk to everybody just like in the server, but then you really have the person in one place. And so that's why I wanted to ask you. You seem to be very excited about it, and I just wanted to have your thoughts, and maybe you can just briefly introduce yourself, and then talk about what the Bridges of Meaning, the community, means for you, and what you hope for the festival.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you, Matthias. It's the thing that you're organizing it in Cassidy. It's excellent. It's such a great opportunity for us actually meet. I actually wasn't excited from the beginning, because I thought I heard Paul mention that he's planning to do some kind of European tour. And I thought to myself, okay, if he will come closer to Israel, I'll probably will come. I'll say what changed my mind a little bit later. But first of all, I'm relatively new to the community. I'm only actively half a year, but inactively as a lurker for a year now. I'm from Israel, not originally, but I was born in Russia, and we immigrated to Israel. From as most Russians, atheistic, secular background. And I got struck by Jordan Peterson during the 2017 time. I remember the moment that I heard him on Joe Rogan, and I remember the spot when I was in Tel Aviv, and like stopping and taking the phone and looking at it like, who the hell is that? And who is saying that? And I remember the moment what he said. He said, when the problem with the C16 started for him, and Joe Rogan spoke with him about gulags, about responsibility, and then at the end, Joe Rogan tried to reach to him and asked, "So what should you want people to do to help you?" And then Jordan said, "Just make their own life better. Like sort their room, make a better world for yourself, because if your world will be better, mine will be better as well." And I remember that
do the future authoring. Didn't he also say do the future authoring program?
Do the future authoring program.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember it.
So that moment just stopped me. I remember it was like night in Tel Aviv, raining, and I remember the corner. I was going from my job to my home. I just stopped, like, what? And from that moment, I was hooked. And there were some opportunities to start conversation between people who got interested in Israel. but not that much. Israel is suffering less from meaning crisis as Europe and United States, from different reasons. One of them is it's mostly constantly at war. The second is the religious aspect is quite prevalent in Israel, so you still have that, and we still, like, Israelis still make babies, and that's an important part. And so all of those combinations show that, like, probably the meaning crisis is less prevalent here. But I was lost. I personally was lost. And a year ago, I heard the Jordan Peterson and Viveki conversation, and it was a unique one. And I tried to understand it. So I looked at the online for explanation of those, and I found Paul. And I come across Paul a few years back, but I said, like, I don't listen to religious people. Like, I'm not interested in their take about Jordan Peterson. But this time I decided, because he was the only one who took the glove to explain what happened with the Viveki conversation. And after finishing that, I heard a few more videos of Paul, and Paul said something profound as well, that after Jordan Peterson, people had the need to come together, to have a conversation, to meet each other, to talk about those problems that Jordan is coming to, bringing to the front. But they don't know how to do that, and how to reach each other, and where to find each other. So he started his meetings, his meetups, and then few of the members from the meetups started the Discord server. So he said, come to the Discord server, come and start having connection with people. And at the beginning, I logged into Discord, and I was overwhelmed. I didn't knew all this chat or this conversation, coming to a voice chat, like just to come and to speak with people. It was really, really scary. And so I lurked in the background for half a year. And probably at the end of the last year, I joined actively. I remember the first person I spoke with was Adam from Ireland. And because back then we used cameras less, so I didn't knew his face, and I was like really scared, like, oh, I have so problems with meaning, and I don't know what what's happening. And like Adam was really gracious and like helped me. And then I had a few more conversation, a really meaningful conversation with Jacob, who actually put me on a more religious path. And then I said, okay, I need to find ways to bring more presence to the Discord. And I took a few measurements. One of them was always bring myself with a camera, no matter what I do. So I'm present. And actually, it started a kind of a trend that a lot more and more members started to just turn their camera on, because Teddy's there and mostly speaking and looking at himself in the Discord. So it's funny. And I try to find more ways to participate in the Discord channel, and I didn't know how exactly. So Adam helped me organize, and then I knew that he like just a scrawny kid from Ireland, which was really funny. But he helped me to organize the book club for the European members, because there are a lot of book clubs on the US side of the world, but it's not suitable for our time. And so I started a very small group, and we started to read Dostoevsky and Crime and Punishment. Now we are finishing the book. We have 2 meetings before we finish the book. It's like half a year, 2 chapters a week. Grueling work, grueling. But that's tremendous. And those 4 people from this book club just changed my life. They're there are older people, but we have those conversations, and the fact that I need to prepare some kind of things every single week, and I need to show up on time, I need to present something to them. Sometimes I prepare in advance, sometimes I procrastinate until the last moment and like do something really, really quickly. But still, the constantly bringing yourself every single week to that space and discussing real problems through the book started to do something to me. And I found that I managed to take more and more responsibilities upon myself. So I started to reach more to people who Paul's have a random conversation with, and I had a few conversations with those people. And I found that like I started a small like a lecture program to my nephew about movies. And
Wow.
I see, like every single week we choose a movie, we go about it deeply. I'm quite a movie fanatic, and I see how I got so much respect for my mother and my sister. My sister is much older than me, and I saw for the past like 5 years how the politically correctness ideas start to creep on her slowly. Then she started to use like patriarchy and a lot of the jargon that we're familiar. And for the last half a year, I didn't heard it from her, because she's also in communication with her son, and her son is like also changing her mind a little bit, and she changing her mind by seeing what, I don't know, what we're doing, which also it's a small change, but it's a change nevertheless. And for me personally, I found few things really changed for the better just by joining the Discord channel and having the conversation. One of those was I almost don't eat sugar. I stopped with sugar completely. Well, I consume much more fruit, which is also sugar, but still. And maybe the more embarrassing thing, I start consuming porn completely. I had like a few missteps, but still, it's yeah, that's weird. How? What happened? I don't understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, I felt that I need to meet those people that helped me so much in person. So when the festival in Germany was announced, it wasn't even a question. But still, as I said before, when I thought it was just Paul, I was a little bit hesitant.
Mhm.
And I was hesitant because Paul talked about this problem that he becoming slowly a YouTube celebrity. And he feeling this problem, and I highly recommend the two conversations that he had, one with Pajot about this, and one with Viveki, and that
I
they
saw
had.
that one. Yeah.
And the two of those conversations, that they feeling weirdness coming to their life through the internet, I understand. Okay, so when I thought, okay, just Paul coming, I said to myself, I don't want to go to some meeting with a YouTube celebrity. Although it's Paul, I understand everything. But still, like I had a certain hesitance. And when the announcement that John Van Dunk is coming as well, I was convinced, because John Van Dunk is one of the person who is like in the background of our corner of the internet, but the work that he's doing, the SGRE protocol that he's developing, and one of my members from the book club is also doing a SGRE in Barcelona, and he's part
Are
of
you
the
in John the Dung's meetings, regular
No,
meetups?
no,
Okay.
not at all. But that's but I still see him as a very important corner in our cornerstone in
definitely.
our community. And
You know, I was for 1 year I was part of one of his estuary host Zoom meetings that he hosts about twice a month, and it was very, very meaningful and I learned so much from him. I think you're exactly right that his work is very important.
yeah,
and it's not that visible in the Discord, but maybe that's also good.
Yeah, and I think that the fact that he's coming to bring this protocol and to do his small communication with the European crowd, I think it will move things. Yeah, there will be more of those those meetups who will trying to have conversation about meaning. So although I don't know him and I never met him, I still he was the thing that convinced me. And then I started to look really serious and started to find tickets to fly from Israel to Germany. And the other edition is Burn Power, which I didn't know anything about. So I asked in the Discord, and Mark pointed for me the Peugeot conversation between Burn Power and Peugeot, and I get hooked. so for the last 2 weeks, I'm going all through his videos, how we got here, and few others, and I think he is a very important addition to our corner.
Why?
And yeah, that's a good question, but I'll summarize it really. I know it's a rough summary, but I think Jordan Peterson opened for us the space. So the space created, this openness created because Jordan Peterson. And then well, at least for me, Jonathan Peugeot was working on the symbolism and the storytelling aspect of how to look at certain element in our culture through the meaning lens. And then Paul van der Klee helped us to get together and start talking between us. So
form a community.
Yes. He's like this facilitator. Viveki is a very interesting, but I think Viveki bringing to us academic legitimacy. So the fact that he is academic and working on those problems from a really rigorous academic standpoint, I think it brings kind of validity. And the people who working
and fancy words.
And fancy words, exactly, which is important. Important to relay weight.
Yeah, I think he also brings some useful concepts that you can get a grip on those things.
Yeah. And Burn, and I thought about it for the last week. I think what Burn brings, he brings this notion that most of the speakers that most of the people that I mentioned have this element, but Burn bring this element that there's tremendous amount of very useful knowledge in the past, an uncovered past, and he bring to us this this call to go, and he start his YouTube videos with this like while we go like something, bring the goons to sleep and we just go and dig or something like that. And that's
Meanwhile, we dig, right?
meanwhile we dig, yeah. And that's exactly what he's bringing to us, like go back. And although I have a philosophical education, I studied philosophy in university, Bern mentioning every single almost video people who I never heard about. Like Jacques Ellul is one of those. Like it's so weird, and that's what he's doing. And the other thing, which I think also very important that Bern bringing to us, is the connection to the physical world, and he is bringing it through videos and through his discussion in video, but still the physical world as a textual thing, as a gritty thing, is of a substance that irreplaceable by screens. And that's a very important message to for us and for the world that's suffering from meaningless. And I'm very excited to meet him. So I'm, yeah. So I hope that I will get a little bit cool in the 2 months that we have until the
it's
festival.
not an internet. It's not a YouTube celebrity, you know.
Yeah, but still, I'm so excited because Bern, I know I need to get a grip of myself a little bit.
Yeah, it takes some time to go through his material, right?
Yeah. That's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot. So I'm coming for 4 days. I had a conversation with Aaron yesterday, which is graciously invited me to spend 2 days after the festival at his house. But those connections that are going to happen in the festival, those are an important ones.
Yeah.
And I actually want to throw a challenge to all the people who are listening to it. In order for us to have meaningful conversations and connections in the festival, I think one of the important parts is to get to know each other. And you said we're going to be something like 100 people over there, something like that?
Yeah, exactly. So Cassidy and I and Aaron and Danny, we're different people who are putting this together, and it's really, it's really a community event, and we organize it really from community members. And yeah, the first one, we don't want to overwhelm us, so we said, okay, let's keep it to 100 participants.
Yeah. So 100 participants is a lot, but still, it's not that much that we cannot make a connection. So
yeah,
we started this server channel for the meeting for the festival and just the European festival in general.
Mhm.
And I encourage everybody, make connections with people beforehand. Start conversation beforehand. You're going to the festival, try to have those kind of conversation that we have right now with Matthias, with as many people from the festival as you can, because it helps to bridge a certain elements of introduction.
Yeah.
And then when you come to the meeting, to the festival, you won't be as overwhelmed by the newestness of people. So there won't be as much as paralysis of analysis of our brain, and we can actually leap forward to conversation about meaningfulness much faster. And that's why, like, meet as many people as you can, even if it's a small conversation just about like what your name, how you came to the bridges of meaning, and are you excited or not excited, on who you're excited to meet, as I relate to you right now.
Yeah,
who
exactly.
people do I want to meet.
Exactly. I think it's a very good idea and it's a very good call. And yeah, we are like the ticket sales will start very soon. And when we fix that, I also want to focus on connecting people more. And I think there also will be conversations, for example, between Paul Vanderklay and Burn Power in preparation for the festival. And yeah, I think it's crucial that we make these connections beforehand. And we are at this venue, the Südstern community, where the festival takes place, and they also have a Discord. And my plan is to also connect with them beforehand. I mean, most of them, it's a German community, and they, of course, will be hard for them to get familiar with the bridges of meaning. But I'll try it. And I think we should do more of these conversations in preparation. I think you're very right about that.
Yeah, so everybody who is listening to it, I am very available. Just send me a message. We'll have a conversation.
Yeah.
If you're a shy person, that's okay. You don't have to talk. I can do the talking. but still, like, just to even to see each other through the camera and to react to each other's laughter, it's enough of a nudge to bring us closer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we have in the server, we have the European Bridges of Meaning Festival channel, and there's also a link to a sub-server where people can organize for joint group travel or group accommodation. So that's also a topic what you can discuss. Do you
Yes.
want to travel in a group? Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to stay in a hostel together, which
Exactly.
it's an excellent idea. And you mentioned as well that there were going to be a few places to stay at the venue, right?
Right. There will be some space for campers. So most of the people they want to do that should bring their tents, and it's limited to about 20 people. And you already mentioned that you're interested, right? That you
Yeah, I still don't know how I will bring my tent. Or
well,
should...
I said to you, I have one tent, and there would be a space enough for you as well. So it's a tent with different sections, right?
Yeah. Excellent. So I just bring my sleeping bag and sleep on site.
Yeah.
So so you can bother me, all of you that coming to the festival in the middle of the night. Please don't, but
but yeah, still. Great. And what I also hope for the festival is, of course, first of all, that people have enough space to connect, to get inspirations from the speakers, and but also like it's really there will be space for John Bedang to explain the protocol and for people to really experience the estuary protocol in person. Like there will be space for small group discussions and small group connections. And I really hope that people get the experience and that they then start their own local groups. That really, I mean, meeting online on a regular basis is already a huge impact. You talked about that, right? The book club. But if you can manage to do that in your neighborhood, in your church, or in a restaurant, that's really another reality. And that's what Burn Power talks about, right? It's the physical.
Yeah, the physical, and the physical is important. We need to understand how we combine those two worlds together. The internet Discord world and the physical. There are two complementary parts to each other. So that's basically what the goal of the festival is.
Exactly.
Matthias, I really want to ask a few things about the behind the background, because I'm very interesting. First of all, did you knew about this place that we're going to have the festival in advance? How you find about them? How Cassidy came to the fold? Like, how many calls did you make to Paul and to Burn? Like, who 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 got who started with whom. Like I like this small gossip of the commentary behind the scenes. So please share with us a little bit.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that, and it's not such a big story because somehow it happened like a lot of things happen in this on this really strange journey, you know. Yeah, it somehow emerged, you know. I mean, there was the COVID times where you couldn't really meet, and you know, already in 2019, I started to meet with a friend in a restaurant, and we were like, I mean, for me, it was similar to you. First of all, I didn't have anyone to talk about those topics. Then I started to meet with a friend in a cafe, and I always wanted to start a local group. And then came John Van Dunk came around with his estuary concept, and yeah, we in Mannheim here in Germany, we now have a group that meets once a month, really in a restaurant now. And yeah,
How long are your meetings? Because I remember Paul saying that in the beginning his wife started to call him in the middle of the night. So I was wondering how it happened with you. You also had like those limitless time.
yeah, we did have that, and now we limit it to like 2 or 3 hours, which is kind of hard, but yeah. But in the physical place, you have limits, right? I mean, and that helps too.
Yeah, that's exactly the thing about the real world. The real world bring limits to you, because if you're online, we know about those people who are on the Discord in the smallest unseeable hours of the night.
Exactly. Yeah, and I mean, then last year I thought, so, you know, when I started the German language chat, suddenly a lot of people showed up that had been lurking before. I think because they found their language, so to say, and they had this frame. Okay, we have this German chat now, and I can connect with people who might live not that far from me. And people showed up, and we had these online discussions, and then we met last summer here in South Germany in Neustadt for a day of basically we made a guided tour through a medieval church, and then we did a hiking tour through the forest, and yeah, had lunch together and just spent the day together. It was like 8 to 10 persons over the day. And yeah, and I mean, you see all these people who are doing their stuff, and you think, okay, we are doing this online together. How could we be in one place, and could we make something out of this? This was an idea that emerged. You know, it's also like 2 more V's. This artist who remixes, for example, Jonathan Peugeot's speeches, and at some day I messaged him and asked, do you think you can do that in a live performance? Yeah. I said, yeah, I never thought about it, but yeah, good idea. And then I started to ask different people, and I think I asked Burn Power was the first one I asked, and he after some days he responded and said, it sounds interesting, tell me more about it. And I told him more about it, and then we had a call, and we had different calls, and at some point he said, yeah, okay, let's do it. It sounds very interesting. And when I had Burn Power on the list, I asked Paul van der Klee. And he was, I think he always wanted to talk to Burn Power and meet him in person and really get to know to him. So I think that was a good preparation to get Paul interested. And I mean, Paul always was interested in Europe, I think, and so that emerged somehow. And yeah, I mean, now there are a lot of calls to put things together. It's really some work, but I think it's worth it. And the benefits are already showing, because I already know a lot of people, much more than before, from the community. And since Cassidy will move to Europe, it's also
as an organizer.
I think it's there are good preconditions to really get small groups together in a physical place.
I'm also very interested in the how to mixing speeches with music, because remind me how the name of the band, of the person who is going to be in the festival.
It's Two More V's is the
Two More V's
is
Yeah.
the artist's name, yeah. And it's he's forming a band now. It's called the Two More V's Experience.
Yeah, excellent.
Let's see.
At the beginning, when I heard about Jordan Peterson, I got really into Akira the Don, which took the speeches of Jordan Peterson and remixing them.
Yeah.
And I've listened a lot, and they're my favorite
Me
things
too,
to
yeah.
go to when I'm working out or just want to trail off. So and then again, that's such an interesting idea that maybe through Jordan Peterson, let's call it, phenomenon that happened, they're going to be like a new genre of music, of taking speeches, taking hard conversation and just remixing them with music that will bring you in a certain state. I've listened to a few of those with Ellen Watts and Jocko Willings and Joe Rogan, and they're tremendous. They're really, really good. The one with Peugeot, I'm also very excited to see how it's going to play out, especially in live in the venue. So
I think it's an experiment. I mean, the whole festival is an experiment, and we have to step by step figure out what works. But I think it's going to be interesting. They have. I mean, it will be a combination of mixed music, but they also have 3 guitar players on stage, and yeah, I think it's going to be interesting.
Yes, it will. And as I understand from you, with the conversation with Burnt Power and Cassidy, you actually have plans to do it again and again and again.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we really need the community to get this going, and I'm prepared if I need to buy my own ticket to fund the festival. I'm happy to do it. I'm really committed. But yeah, it won't work without a community. But I'm the signs I'm seeing make me hopeful, and I think we can do it. And yeah, the best would be that the first one will be a success on all fronts. But nevertheless, our plan is to do it every year. And let's see what we can make out of it. And you also asked about the venue, how I found the venue.
How you found the place, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I used to organize these underground punk rock and hardcore concerts, but they were usually in venues that are very, subcultural and secular, even anti-religious. So those places didn't match really. And when I was a kid, I grew up in a Mennonite community, and there was one older guy, and over the years I lost contact to him. But I heard that he started this in Landau here in South Germany. He started this community center, the Südstern, and I think it runs for 18 years now, and it's a house with a concert room, with a bar, and they have a huge yard where they also can do open air festivals, and they have the equipment, they have a stage, they have the backline, they know how to run events, they have a bar team, and they do all kinds of things. And the goal of them is to close the community gap in postmodern society, really. And they want to be an open space for the local city community. So, for example, one interesting thing is they have a policy of never locking the door. They never lock their door. So everybody who knocks on the door
be careful of the Mongols. That's because they are coming. So maybe it's not a good idea.
It's the physical world, and the physical world is also dangerous.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know they know what they're doing. They're doing it for 18 years, and it works. And they they also, like, they do these community events, and everybody, young people can go there and rehearse with their band. They can play soccer in the backyard. If you want to do an event, you can go there, talk to them, convince them that you can do it there. And they also do their church there.
Yeah.
And
which,
I thought,
which we're going to experience, right? We're going to experience the famous Paul van der Clay sermons on
I
Sunday.
think so. I heard of it. Yeah.
There's a lot of pressure on Paul to do it live in front of his, let's call it, his people.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is that other people are having similar ideas, right? Catherine with the Thunder Bay event in Canada. Have you heard of the Thunder Bay event? Yeah, I mean, there will be Paul van der Clay, John Vervaeke, and Jonathan Peugeot. I think the first time, all the three of them in person. And she had also the idea of the Sunday sermon, and yeah, there will be also one.
Yeah, that's excellent.
And they have paintball for Jesus. I don't know if you heard about that.
Yeah, shooting each other with the paint in the name of the Lord. Yep. So yeah, so it's just know that you starting this first festival, let's call it, for the Bridges of Meaning, you will end up like Joey, in prison to the server and to the community. But it's kind of a good thing, but it's also a huge commitment and responsibility that you're taking on yourself, you and Cassidy, and I'm applauding you and bowing my head toward your what you are doing, you both. So I'm hope to have a conversation with Cassidy in the coming weeks before the festival. So I that's really, I'm saying it's sincerely from the heart of me and the community. Like, thank you very much for doing that, because it's tremendous.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like, it's really what you talked about in the beginning, that you're so hooked to this community, and you also don't fully understand what's happening. And it's really something that the world view of so many people is changing because of the participation in this corner of the internet. And you have different things in your life coming and going, and sometimes you regret that you didn't take some steps. And I think this is an opportunity. We could hang around on Discord for another 10 years or 5 years, and it would be okay and it would be good. But I think if we don't use this opportunity, and if we don't form something out of it that is sustainable, then in the end it's not that useful. And I think there are not many options. I think we have to do it.
Yeah. And yeah, it's kind of was a blessing and a curse, this pandemic, because during the pandemic we it's always like that. When you get a lack of something, you developed a certain hunger for it and appreciation for that thing. And one of the things that happened during the pandemic is the lack of people, of human connection and communication. And what we are, and it's a good opportunity. It's a good opportunity for us to get together. I'll tell connection to that, like a small personal story. I about 10 years ago, I've done the Israeli route. So it's a route that going from the south of Israel to the north, and I was doing it alone with a tent. With not staying at some houses, just me and the tent. and most of the time I was alone with me and Joe Rogan and a few other people who was listening to conversations. And what I found that every time that I encountered a person, I would just latch on him and like just another 5 minutes of conversation. It wasn't it doesn't matter who it is, just another few minutes of this precious attention from somebody else. And that's what the pandemic kind of taught us, that a physical attention from another human beings, and especially people who are working in the same goals as you are, is a very important.
Oh yeah.
And that's what we're trying to do with the festival.
Exactly.
Which actually pretty funny, because when I told my family that I'm going to this festival, I used the word convention, and they said, "Oh, so you're doing a convention like the big boys?" So yeah, we're doing something like that, like the big boys.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's hard to explain to other people who are not familiar with it, right? What's the festival about?
yeah. So festival, convention, whatever it is, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Conference. So we just, that it doesn't matter how you call it. The fact that
Exactly.
you show up and you bring yourself with truthfulness, that's the important part.
Yeah, the other stuff will develop.
The other stuff will develop. Yeah. So thank you, Matthias.
Thank you, Teddy. Thank you very much. I'm really looking forward to meet you in person. And
me too. Me too.
We should talk again.
We should. We should. Yeah. So goodbye. Although, like, you can stop the recording and we have a conversation, a normal,
exactly.
Behind it.
All right.
Yeah.